So first, we've got one here. It says, right now I am recording a song that I wrote, and one of the first things the arranger asked me was, who or what do you want to sound like? And how does that affect the individuality of the song?
Ah, interesting. Who or what? So I take it from that question that maybe they were a little put off by that idea of sounding like somebody else, which is understandable. And I would say a couple things about that. I think that perhaps their arranger should rephrase that question a little bit to not sound. I think probably the arranger is looking for a point of departure. You know, maybe another way they could have phrased that question was, you know, who are your influences? You know, are there people that I can use as a point of departure to arrange this tune with what you have in your head? I would say, you know, you're going to sound like you no matter what. So it's not a bad thing to let yourself let people know what your influences are. And the thing is, most people have multiple influences. I produced a couple records for an artist named Lindsay Mack, who's wonderful. She's a singer-songwriter who we kind of decided, she plays the cello. She's like a cellist, but she also is a singer-songwriter, really talented gal. And we kind of joked around that she was, you know, kind of a cross between Yo-Yo Ma and Ani DeFranco. It's okay to have, you know, touchstones like that. To say, you know, I really like the sonic palette of, say, Tool, with more sensitive vocals a la Radiohead, or, you know, something like that that's going to combine kind of the influences that you have. And you might even, you know, take some, you know, think about what is it that I'm trying to combine here. I remember Bruce Springsteen talking about Born to Run, where he was, I forget what exactly was all the different influences, but he was trying to sing it like, oh, who's the guy that did Pretty Woman? Oh, that singer. Anyway, there's no way he could sound like that singer because, you know, he's Bruce Springsteen, and he doesn't sound anything like it. But the fact that he was, you know, he was kind of trying to sound like that singer, you know, meant that he had something to kind of aim at. So, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about, you know, about feeling like you're not going to be original. You're going to be original. Whatever you do is going to come through your filter. You know, the Beatles basically idolized Little Richard and Elvis, you know, and they were trying to make Elvis in Little Richard records. Now, obviously, they failed miserably if that's what they were trying to do. But it was great because they brought what they did to it. I remember with Let It Be, an interview with McCartney, saying that was kind of his answer to the gospel music he was hearing from Mahalia Jackson, which if you put Let It Be up against Mahalia Jackson, sounds nothing like Mahalia Jackson. But that was, you know, that was him trying to sound like Mahalia Jackson, wound up sounding like Let It Be, which, you know, again, was a great record, but it didn't really sound like her. So, you know, yeah, you want to be original. You know, I mean, I think that's, you know, having your own vision and your own intention is paramount. But it's okay to kind of give a nod to your influences. And if you're working with an arranger or an engineer, you know, a lot of times when you go into mix, it's a good idea to maybe bring a couple reference tracks and say, this is kind of sonically where I'm going. And, you know, it may even be 2 or 3 tracks. You may say, you know what, I really love the drum sounds from this record, but I love the vocal treatment on this other record, and I really love the way the guitars sound on this record. So there may be 2 or 3 records that you bring in to maybe play for your mix engineer. And you could also do that for your arranger. You know, you might say, boy, I really like, you know, the way that that horns or whatever are used in, you know, in this production team from England, but I love the beats that maybe the Neptunes come up with. You know, and so you can talk to them about maybe combining a few things in a new way.